And joining us here today for our Eye on Terre Haute is Mayor Duke Bennett. Always nice to have you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you. Okay, so we have an update. You've set a date for your State of the City address. Of when is that, and what can we expect you to talk about?
Okay, and it's going to be March 23rd at the Vigo County Public Library. It'll be in the atrium area there. And really just covering a lot of things about kind of wrapping up last year and kind of looking at this year. So from a budget perspective, projects, a little bit of everything. And most people that come to it they're usually, they learn a lot of new things. And so we usually get a pretty big crowd there and look forward to doing it again this year. So, you know, we're kind of in that wrapping up last year and moving into this year, kind of what's going to happen for the rest of the year. And there'll be a lot of things to talk about.
Now, some people might think that you might glaze over some topics, but I mean, are you going to get any specific details on projects that are coming up, or the budget? I know that's one that
Sure.
people like to address every time that you're out there.
No, what I do in these State of the City addresses is give very specific information. I'll be able to tell you all about our crime statistics and our fire department and a variety of other things from last year. And then from a budget perspective, how we ended the year and all of our different 80 funds that we have and kind of what we project then for this year. So there'll be a lot of data plus a lot of, you know, just here's what we think is going to happen too. When it comes to, you know, growth and economic development activity. You know, not everything always happens, but what our plan is and road construction and a variety of other things that'll happen. So we'll be able to share a lot of information that day.
Gotcha. So if you have questions, concerns, a good place to go and get all of those answered.
March 23rd.
All right, sounds good. And then also moving ahead, we have some other dates set up for your spring cleanup this year.
Be on May 7th. And we're still working on some logistics things, and we'll get that out through the media, but you know, that'll be the day. We typically try to do it the first Saturday in May. It worked out again for this year, and so we'll have our city resources, Republic Services out in full force, and then we'll have a lot of volunteers. And so between now and then, we'll get that message out about the specifics, but we'll encourage people to take a few hours maybe on that Saturday morning. We usually get started around 8 o'clock, and we're always done by 11 or 12. If they could just come out and help us pick up some trash, that would be wonderful.
And one of the things, we do this every year, but you always talk about, you know, just wear some gym shoes, some clothes you don't mind getting dirty, just looking ahead. You know, if you have the free time to help out, they always appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll usually get a couple of hundred people, and it makes a huge difference. If we just get in the loose trash, and our guys will work on focus on the bigger things, and it really is a tremendous help. And everybody that does it loves it. They really feel like they've contributed something, and it's a great morning.
Kind of one of those feel-good moments.
It is. It is.
Okay. Also talking and looking ahead, Crow Patrol. That's something that people talk about here. We still have that going on. As I understand, you always need volunteers.
Yes, we do, and it's been tough because people just don't want to come and help with that. But you know, we only spend a couple of hours each evening, and we've got a few trees downtown where we've got a small flock of maybe 15, 20 birds. And they make a big mess, and fortunately it's not a big growing problem. We've definitely gone the other direction, but we've got to keep them in check. And so anybody who would want to help, please call my office, and we'll get you plugged in. We'll do this until the weather really warms up, because they'll go away and then come back again next November, and so we can always use some help.
Yeah, if you ever see the mess out there and you're complaining about it and you have the free time to help, maybe you can donate some time.
Yeah, absolutely. It would help a lot.
Okay. And the other thing that we've talked about before in the past, Cliff Lambert, he was in charge of the Director of Redevelopment. He's actually moved on. He's retired. And we've actually found somebody to replace him for now.
Yeah, just a temporary interim position. Steve Witt, who runs the Terre Haute Economic Development Corporation, he kind of works for the city and the county in capacities too, but really just trying to make sure we have a good, smooth transition and seeking that next person for that job. And so collecting applications right now, and within a couple of weeks here we'll begin to work through that and begin to do some interviews and hopefully have somebody on board in the next 60 days or so would be the goal.
Now, Steve Witt, he's not actually the interim, he's just kind of filling in until you find that person.
Right, he's filling that gap of, you know, people call and ask a lot of questions about what are the incentives, what are available in the city, and he does that for the county now, so he's going to do that for the city on this interim basis, I guess, in between, and be able just to be there to help out with any way he can, and we'll all help out.
Yeah, obviously we still have our questions, so we need somebody still there to answer them, so he's kind of there to be our tool and guide us.
Right, smooth transition so that we make sure we get all those questions answered.
Okay, do you have a set date as to when you hope to find that permanent person to fill that position?
As I said, probably in the next 60 days or so, hopefully we'll be able to get that taken care of.
All right.
You know, it's a process.
Sounds good. Well, we have lots of information, lots of dates to check up on.
Yep.
Always, thank you for stopping by.
Okay, thanks.